What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mango Grove. It's been a long time since we did a duo video, right, Sean?
Yes, indeed.
But do you want to start with your signature good morning, good morning, good morning?
Good morning, good morning, good morning! My name is Sean Dexter.
It's like Sean's mom also sees him now, and she's like, good morning, good morning, good morning. So it's like, it's become a thing, even at home. So, yeah, we are going to do a duo video today, and, well, let's start off with BTC, of course, and I see Sean's got a pattern on his chart. Sean, would you like to tell us about this pattern?
I don't know if that pattern is anything. I mean, it's not touching anything. It's touching just one wick at the top over there, and this isn't a pattern. Maybe the 12-hour? Maybe. Okay,
yeah,
I probably drew it, though. Yeah,
damn.
There you go.
This is actually pretty neat. But what is this?
Do I get your approval, Krisha?
Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty damn neat. I actually haven't been playing any of the lower time frames. I was actually telling Sean just this morning that I find that the markets are rewarding those who are playing the higher time frames.
It's because she was rewarded while we are
last
sitting.
Night. Yeah, so I did catch a good, beautiful short at the wick right here last night. I think I mentioned it. I was in bed. And I was looking at price, and I'd mentioned it on the Grove, saying that, I placed a bid. I'm not sure if it hit, but it did hit. I got a sweet short to the downside. This was, like I said, I feel like the markets have been rewarding people actually playing the higher time frames.
You've been patient.
Very. Two. Maybe.
She's just in such a good mood today.
So no.
And rightfully so, though, because this is an example, guys, of patience paying off. And it was... We talked about this too in our videos a couple of days ago, where while we were going through our analysis, we were going through all the time frames, and the 2-day time frame. I think if you switch on to a 2-day too, you're going to see that we tested the 2-day 21 as well. We were sitting in between major levels on the 2-day. Is that the 2-day? Yeah, there you go, right? And we were sitting somewhere around here, I do believe, at the time. I'm like, the 2-day is making me believe that we may actually shoot up to the upside.
Yeah.
There you go. Right? We tested the...
There are a few things that you said that you're like, you know what, this could possibly shoot to the upside. But anyways, we won't get ahead of ourselves here. But I basically, guys, I took my trade just based on the monthly 21 EMA. So there was a lot of confluence. So you just saw the 2-day time frame where you had that cluster of cloud resistance overhead, right? And then monthly, we had the monthly 21. Yep. And just based on where the last monthly closed, it wasn't far-fetched that we actually come and test that monthly 21, right? So it was not just a 21. The thing is that it did front run the 21 by a slight bit there. But then I said, okay, fine, I think I'm going to front run that. And so I ended up placing my bid on the 4-day Tenkin. And what do you see here, guys? Now, this is the 4-day time frame. We have that 4-day Tenkin. We have the 4-day 200 simple moving average, right? Once again, this was a big cluster of resistance just overhead on multiple time frames.
Yep.
Right? So what are your thoughts on, the higher time frames?
I'm just bummed out at myself for like not missing this, but I think I got too tunnel visioned on the lower time frames. Even then, I don't want to say I did that because we were going through all of this, right? But this is what I'm really bummed out about. This is what was going through my head while you were describing the monthly. Over the past couple of videos, we've been talking about how the monthly has been giving us hints. First, we had the monthly close above that major zone, right? We talked to everyone about.
That's right.
Then we also had the monthly bounce. Yeah. When the daily came and tested it, right? The first day of the month. So the last day of the month closed above the zone. Yeah. The first day of the month, we bounced off that major level. We tested it on the daily.
And we bounced,
We had a mega bounce off it.
Let's actually go and go pan on over to the daily so you guys can see it, right?
Right there at the bottom of the wedge.
So it was 6875, yeah.
So we had that bounce from there, and that should have been our clue that, hey, we are getting really close to the monthly 21 EMA. Yeah. And this is another thing that I decided to conveniently, I didn't ignore it, but what I decided to do was just push out the back of my head was the 12-hour entering the cloud. And that lined up with an edge to edge. I'm not sure whether you noticed that, but I was looking at the lower time frames. So there was a story being told to us over there that, hey, we're going to get a test of the monthly 21. And if I want to add to my position, maybe I'll be looking to add over there. All of this happened while I was asleep, and hey, missed it. It is what it is. And you can go ahead and show them the 12-hour edge to edge. Actually, and we've been talking about how the 12-hour has been nailing price action recently, right? Has been nailing it. Look at how it's been following the Tenkin through all of this.
Yeah, and the cloud too, edge to edge there, right?
Yeah, there you go. Enter the cloud, right over here. Enter the cloud, edge to edge. When we have a flat cloud like this at the top, we know this play, right? We know this play. Seeing a massive rejection though, and there's another thing we were talking about in yesterday's video, which was this ascending triangle on the 12-hour. So, yeah, it is what it is, but
has this ascending triangle broken to the upside though?
You tell me.
Seems like it. It seems like it's being supported there. Like you see, oops, wow, that's a messy chart.
It's not convincing.
Yeah, no, it's not convincing. It's like, so this is the line that we're looking at, right? This is sitting at 6,785, give or take. Now that is the top sort of horizontal line that marks that sort of the ascending triangle. We close slightly above it. It appears that we're trying, the bulls rather are trying to get that as support. But time will tell. But what are your thoughts, Sean? Like Bitcoin, are we going up or down?
Okay.
Gun to your head.
Gun to my head. I think we test some higher levels first. Is this the test though? That rejection is making me. I'm so hesitant to make a call here. To be honest, guys, I'm so hesitant.
Just based on the weekly time frame, what do you think? Look at that. That was a weekly test of the Tenkin as well, that we just had yesterday.
I think we test the weekly 21 EMA.
Weekly.
No, I don't want to say that. I don't think bear markets, the 21 EMA means anything. That's like, I don't think so, to be honest. I do think we test up higher, but I don't think it's going to be based on the weekly. What's the 3-day telling us?
Ooh.
Right over there. Right?
See, this is what I mean. There was just so much there. There was just too much there.
The 200 MA on the 3-day, the 4-day.
Look at the Tenkin and Kijun. They're sitting in line with each other, right?
So guys, if you guys do remember in yesterday's video, we talked about the 3-day, and I said, hey, I'll be looking for the 3-day to have a couple of candle closes over the 10 SMA. Well, we got that first candle close over the 10 SMA, right? That's another sign, all lining up, right? All lining up. But this is what I noticed when you were pointing out to the 4-day, and you know how big of a fan of the 4-day time frame I am. And let me turn off all the horizontals. This 4-day 200 moving average, it's been our freaking guide for our big trades in the past, right? When we close over the 4-day 200 moving average right over here, we got that close above, we got the test, and then got the trending move, correct?
Yeah.
That's why we caught this big move to the upside.
Yeah.
This was our first entry right over here. Now, this is going to be the guide again, in my opinion. If we are to be staying bearish, it is imperative that the bears keep the candles closing underneath
the 200.
If you close above, that's when I'm going to be bullish for this 4-day. That will be the clear trade for me. Okay, right now it's not clear because yes, the daily is looking good. The 12 hours also, because of that wick, the wick is making it a little bit confusing. But overhead, based on trades that has worked so well for us in the past, I'm not convinced yet to take a bullish position. But again, being bearish is also a little bit uncertain here, right? You got a good trade. It depends on your entry. You got a trade right over there at the 7,200 region. That was the trade. Now what happens from here is going to be very easy for you to manage.
That's right.
And that's what trading really comes down to. Is it easy for you to know whether you can be wrong and take a small loss or not, right?
And that's exactly what I was thinking about when I was playing the higher time frames. Now, I've been very vocal about, not been actively trading right now, just given the current situation and stuff. But it was a good trade. I saw this and I saw the confluence that it had on all the higher time frames. I'm like, this, sometimes there are those trades just staring you in the face, saying that, you know what, it may come up here, it may not, but it's going to be so damn easy to manage, right?
Exactly, and I just want to show them how well you nailed this over here, because I want to turn off everything and just keep that. This is all you guys had to look at, the 200 moving average, and she was looking at it. She was looking at the monthly 21, and we did too, guys, but we lost some focus, right? Even it's so annoying, I missed that one.
So what are the biggest, okay, so what are you going to be looking for in order for you to really sort of flip sides, even if it means in the more immediate sort of time frames?
For me to flip bullish?
Yes.
This is really hard, to be honest. I don't want to make it seem so the one thing that we can do is start closing candles above the 4-day levels, that basically this 200 moving average, right? But if we start doing it from here, it still makes me so skeptical, because look at the price action on the daily. We've just gone up, right? Like, we've been putting in what is basically a channel, right?
Yeah.
And the reason channels are known as are considered bearish is because when you do break the trend, when you do start taking out those lows, they have an aggressive move towards the downside.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be caught on that when it comes to Bitcoin as well as the current market environment. You don't be caught on that landslide unless you get a good position in terms of going long. And where was your good position? Perhaps somewhere around here, perhaps somewhere around here. I didn't get that position, right? So if someone got that position, good for them. What I would like to see is more of a rounding bottom. That's when I can be like, okay, you know what, I'm comfortable going long. That's why we were okay going long over here, right? We saw that rounding bottom. Why did we go long over here at 3K? Because we saw I'm mixing words together. We saw the rounding of the bottom over here, right? What do we have over here? Ascending triangle. What do we have over here? Ascending triangle on the 4-day, right? I'm not seeing that here. So
yeah, it's not very Bitcoin-like.
No.
To have this as the pattern that would lead to a push, a reversal of the trend. Let's put it that way. I don't think it's not very Bitcoin-like. If you just kind of go and look at past price history, I don't think it very, very, very seldom does that. But so tell me something. What are there any sort of bearish, signs on the chart that, have you compelled it? Not compelled, I think compelled is too strong a word, but, have you thinking that we could possibly even move down further from here? Is anything on the higher time frames that you're seeing right now? Anything on the lower time frames? Anything at all?
The psychology of what's happening right now in the market makes me believe that this is more geared towards us entering into a bear phase than a bull phase. And I'm not saying that because I want to be a bear. Okay, I don't want this. I rather have the rounding bottom at the 4K region, 5K region, then move up. But we traded during the 2018 bear market, right? And let's go back onto that area. This is very similar. Look at how we were moving back then, Krisha. Having those upward thrusts that weren't rounding at all, right? It was we bottoming up and then coming down. We bottoming up and then coming down. We bottoming up. And then we didn't have, here you could say
this
was like an inverted head and shoulders, and this was a good trade, right? This was a good trade. But eventually, and this was like distribution in hindsight, big time, right? And you only see it in hindsight, most certainly, unless you can that's why we start doing what we've been doing recently in the Mango Grove. We've been saying, hey guys, let's start trying to not forecast and trade the forecast, but trying to say, hey, what price does this and then that, and that's how we kinda caught this ascending triangle on the 12-hour, even though we didn't trade for it, right? We were able to be like, okay, this may happen, right? We knew these lower bottoms, these higher lows rather, were going to be put in if we were going to see some sort of bullish action. Again, is this convincing you, Krisha? The wick over there, the rejection?
No, it's not convincing enough. The only thing that I'm looking at right now is, quite possibly this volume node right here. That's a good sort of push to the upside. But then again, I mean, there was good enough price action to support that, but I don't know. I'm still going to start looking for some further continuation to the upside because it's so classic,
So are you going to stay in your trade? If are you going to talk to them about you're seeing this where you're not sure? How are you going to manage? Because you're playing the higher time frames clearly. Are you going to let the 12-hour pattern decide whether you stay in your trade?
It's going to be a tough one. So, I mean, I have a system in place. Now, okay. You know this, that I have a system in place. So this was supposed to be a range trade. I'm going to be very, very transparent
so you're not
here.
Looking for
this is not a trend trade. I think there is a good possibility that we do sort of, trudge further up. But, like I said, like it's very choppy. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Like it's so often that, Bitcoin actually takes out a major horizontal only to get rid of it on the next sort of push down.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially in the bear markets. Especially in the bear
Yeah.
markets. It's so brutal. The traps are so brutal. Like I've been okay, let me show you guys
Like
a
we
brutal
had
bull
a
trap. A brutal bull
there
trap
was
that I
one
was
on
caught
the
in.
yeah, there
Like
was
I was caught in the fact that they kept me in my trade. Where was that? Sorry, 3K region. This was so brutal. This one right here. And you're seeing this on Bitcoin, but I was in the Ethereum trade, right? But you guys know if BTC USD is going to go down, Ethereum is going to go down too on the USD pairing. Oops.
and so will our camera apparently.
Yeah, so BTC USD will go down, Ethereum USD will go down, and our camera will go down too. Our camera just fell, guys. Apologies for that disruption. So yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, we're talking about this bull trap over here. If you guys go ahead and just mark out the horizontals, right? You'll see that we can mark out one over here. Okay, I already have these marked out, and you can see that this was a trap, man. This was a trap. It closes above, getting everybody bullish, drawing in a lot of support and resistance traders too. And what happens right after? We actually take out the high on the next day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Take out the high too, and boom.
Exactly.
So it doesn't even give you a chance to get out. And again, you got to have a risk management in place. And bear markets can be brutal. So
I think with the current level that we're at, I think for at least the short that I'm in, if we start closing more candles, at least the 4-hour candles above that level, right? I will start getting out of my trade. But until and unless we don't have that, we don't see that continuation, right, to the upside, I will stay in. Now, Sean, I wanted to talk to you about the volatility on this. Now, there's a lot of volatility on charts currently, and there are a lot of people in the Telegram chat that are actively trading this entire range, right? And there's a lot of conversation on this. Now, do you have any advice for any of them, actively trading on this particular range? I mean, just look at the volatility. Look at the wicks on this.
Well, right from the get-go, right after we had this major move to the downside, it was obviously we're going to see some serious volatility. Okay, when you get a big move like this, volatility is going to be on the table. So, firstly, how do you deal with this kind of volatility? That is the question, right? A lot of people are getting excited and getting into positions too late or getting into positions too early, etc., etc. That's what's causing a lot of pain right now. What I can say is, okay, if you are in the seed technical analysis program, please be patient until you get to the risk management module. Okay, I don't want to say jump right into the risk management module, but be patient until you get to the risk management module and you get through all the concepts and all the theories that we cover in there. At the end of the module, you'll also be given a risk management indicator and a risk management tool sheet. That entire module, along with the tool sheet and the indicators, designed to protect you in these scenarios and allows you to take advantage of these scenarios, right? It was how I was able to safely take a trade all the way down over here when the futures price on there came down to 3,700, 3,600, right? I could have also got hurt if I didn't know what I was doing. And I almost did get hurt too, right? But I was able to be calm and collected because of all of the tools that we included in the risk it's what I'm using, guys. It's my edge as well. And you guys will notice now, if you go through the module, you'll be like, oh, damn, if I just done this and this and this, right? It is literally my edge to how a huge part of almost every trader's edge is their risk management. They may not even know it. But my entire strategy is designed around it, okay? So if you are in the program, watch the modules in order because they all build on each other. Like Trader Fraser has mentioned too, they all build on each other, okay? But if you are not in the risk management, if you're not in the seed program, how do you deal with this, right? Essentially, you got to be very, very careful with your position sizing. Your position sizing needs to take into consideration how much Bitcoin can move and in what direction. So if you are playing towards the downside, you need to be okay with Bitcoin moving aggressively against you until it moves in your direction eventually, right? So your thesis cannot be, hey, Bitcoin is going to go down, but it can't even tick slightly above so-and-so level. You cannot have that. Look at how Bitcoin has been moving aggressively. And on your exchange, it may move even more. So having a tight stop loss over here is going to be a recipe for disaster, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Another way you can do it, guys, is do what Krisha has done, right? She's playing the higher time frames. When you're looking at the higher time frames, we're looking at the daily right now, and you can see these candles look so aggressive. But let's do what Krisha has done and look at the 4-day, okay? And you can see that, hey, what do you know? This doesn't look too bad after all, right? If you're just patient, and each candle is 4 days, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4-day candles, Krisha. That is 24 days. That's almost a month of waiting before she got her trade. That is impressive. So really, it comes down to patience. Increase the time frame. These candles don't look so ugly anymore. They don't look so scary. And then you get clean trades. If you go on over to the 4-hour, okay? If you're playing the 4-hour in this zone, I don't know how you guys are doing it, because it is so choppy. The trend is so choppy. You're going straight up and then breaking trend, going straight down and then breaking trend to the upside, and again you're breaking trend to the downside, and it's just not the cleanest at all. And look at this. You don't want to, like, how do you deal with this? Is this bullish? Is this bearish? Are we going to see continuation of the upside? But now from the 4-hour we switch to the 4-day, right? Let's see how clean is this. You can see that, hey, if the 4-day closes over here, this is looking like a rejection. We test the 200 moving average, and we're closing underneath the 10 simple moving average. Not a good look, right? At the very least, for me to see continuation, just looking at the 4-day, I'll be looking for the 4-day to close over the 10 SMA.
Yeah.
So you can make easy hypotheses like that.
Okay, and this 4-day, we opened a new 4-day candle, or rather we closed this one on the 6th. So in about 3 days or so. But okay, that's cool. And what about, now I know that you have been looking at other traditional charts as well as Forex.
Yeah.
Is there anything on there that you want to bring up?
Well, Forex right now is a lot more fun to trade because it's a lot more stress-free. Now, it depends on your version of fun, of course. Bitcoin has been fun too if you want to be sitting on the edge of your seat every moment. But Forex has been clean. You can pull up USD AUD or AUD USD, because that's the pairing. You can see it's pretty clean.
Wanda. Cool.
And turn on the mango ribbon on the daily. There you go. And the daily time frame.
And the daily time frame. Yeah. Okie dokie.
Okay, and that's all I did, right? I waited for price to come all the way up to the daily 21 EMA in Kijun and just reshorted it, and it's going so well so far.
Damn.
It's so clean. It's just so clean, right? And now if it breaks the 10 SMA, I'm expecting further continuation to the downside. Perhaps test the lows again on the candle closes. That's what I'm looking at. Again, CAD USD CAD actually for this one. I know it's a little bit confusing.
And what do you think of the volatility, actually? Do you think the volatility is, one to match what's happening in crypto?
Well, volatility, you shouldn't chase volatility to decide your trades. That's what causes a lot of, I think that's how you become a trader, chasing the bone rather than setting yourself up for good trades. That's what leverage is all about, right? You can use low volatility to still make good money out of. What matters is a clean trading setup. And you can see that the volatility has been amazing. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Okay. But you shouldn't be chasing that. You should be looking for good trade setups. And the trade setups over here have been really, really good, right? Where did we long USD CAD? Right over here. It was like right over here. If you guys are on the Mango Seed program, we showed this trade setup to you guys, right? And so far, so good. Does it see continuation? Hey, it's left to be seen, but we're sitting well. Like, all you have to do is wait for the retest of the 10K 21 EMA over here, and boom. If we broke this, I would perhaps tried for a trade on the Kijun, but I wouldn't be looking for a trend trade in that regard. I'd be looking for a quick bounce play and be getting out of the trade. But yeah, these are the two markets I was looking at. I also took a small short trade on S&P. Where is it?
There, yeah.
And this was such an easy trade. This was so easy. Like, I was surprised that nobody was talking about how easy this was. Look at this, okay? So we had the daily 21 EMA. We had the daily Tenkin. We also had the weekly 200. We had the weekly 200 EMA. This was such an... I should have taken a bigger position, but I was afraid of the shot. Switch this to 200 for me, Krisha. I was actually afraid. I shouldn't have been, but because this was so easy. Look at that. Look at how this was holding support.
That was a brilliant trade.
Yeah, so... I'm still not too keen on adding to my position over here. I'm just going to be playing this, but yeah, easy trade. If we break above, it's so easy to manage, right? If you close above the daily 21 EMA, and I wasn't expecting us to do that at all. We could come in, put in a high or low somewhere around here, and then go for that. That would be a little bit more convincing. Then, hey, you actually may have a C-span trade to be had all the way up to 279, 280, right? So there are some opportunities to be had, cleaner opportunities to be had on other markets, guys. Don't get too tunnel vision on crypto. I make that mistake too, but right now it's ripe for the picking, especially currencies, in my opinion, especially currencies.
So now one of the biggest things that everyone seems to be talking about, not just in the chat, but even like just the real world, outside of us, is this the bottom? Do you think markets could? Do you think price? Just looking at traditional, markets on kind of in general have all tanked. So the big question is, okay, are we going to recover from here? Is this the bottom? What would you like to say? Now, I'm not asking you to have a definitive answer to that, of course. I mean, no one really knows, but
it's unlikely, very unlikely. I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong on that, but it's unlikely. I think traditional markets are going to see another leg down. At the very least, test the lows. Okay, at the very least, test the lows. But let's look at the situation right now. Okay, we have seen one of the biggest, most aggressive falls in traditional markets ever. How many people have gotten? How many big? I'm not talking about people here. I'm not talking about like single individuals. I'm talking about big institutions have gotten into massive trouble because of this. And we have yet to see the damage. Okay, we have yet to see the damage. Historically, you do not see the damage until like few months out. Like the 2008 financial crisis started in 2007, if not 2006 maybe, right? It took a year before Lehman crashed, and then everything started unfolding. But it's different here because everybody was comparing it to the Great Depression, 2008, and this and that. You guys need to understand that there are tools in place now that weren't in place back then. Okay, 2008 it took the Fed around 3 months to get approval for QE. Here it took around 3 days, maybe a little bit more than 3 days, maybe less actually. Things have been moving so fast, I'm losing track of time. And they announced unlimited QE. So they are plugging the holes as they are spouting out, right? As holes are showing up in the market, they are plugging the holes, and you're seeing weaknesses. You're seeing these edge cases already show up in the mortgage-backed security market too, right? You're seeing these issues show up, even though you thought they were stellar. You thought that, okay, you know what, the Fed is going to come in, the Fed is going to fix it, but the Fed fixing something is causing a problem elsewhere. Okay, we're not going to go into all of that right now, but we're seeing these issues. What I'm trying to say is, anybody saying that things are going to be fine, and anybody saying that we're going to go down for sure because of the Great Depression, nobody really knows. It's such a different environment right now. But what I am seeing is that there's so much uncertainty. Do you want to play with that, right? Do you want to play with that? There's uncertainty in the market right now, and that's not how we do it in Mango, right? We don't take these gamble-like plays. The trend is down. Yeah. That's for sure, right? I'm seeing unemployment go up and up and up and up, and the governments, Canada, can come and tell us, hey, you know what, we're going to give everybody money. But what I'm seeing is that our friends and friends who own businesses who need the money need to go through all this paperwork just to get the money. Yeah. So by the time they actually get the money, they are going to be bankrupt. They're going to be closing their doors down, right?
And this is not just in Canada. There are some, other people in the Mango Seed program that have kind of brought up similar concerns about, actually getting access to this kind of relief. And not just that, you just spoke of uncertainty, right? A lot of things that's happening right now, the way the markets are unfolding, the way, this relief is coming out, it's grim right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, but what is the one thing, at least for me, okay, now the one thing that I am seeing currently with the general sentiment especially over markets, is that there's a lot of hope. I have my family coming to me, okay, I have my family coming to me, ask me, okay, when should I buy? Everyone's just looking to trade this. Everyone wants a piece. Even people who have never traded any market in their entire freaking life besides buying a house want to trade this.
Yeah, that's actually scary.
And okay, now this is me. I want you guys tell me if you guys are going through something similar. Do you have your family members, or your friends coming to you asking you for advice? Should I buy here? Is this a good kind of spot to buy? Mention in the comments below, because I'm actually very, very curious on this one.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Let us know, seriously.
Yeah,
because
that
was scary to me. One of our family members actually said, this is where people turn into millionaires. And that was scary. I was in the conference call for that one. I'm like, wow. I just shook my head there, like nodded though. But inside I was like scared. I was actually worried, because when do markets actually bottom? Not when retailers are all excited to come in and buy. I think it's when people are just so sick of the market and they don't want anything to do with it, right? That's what 3K Bitcoin was like. Nobody wanted any. Guys, we were getting 20 to 30 views on our videos, on our daily videos.
Yeah.
Remember? There's like 50 views or something like that. And I would be like, oh man, I got 50 views. So that's how dead the market was. And now we have retailers coming in and wanting to buy opportunities, buy Air Canada.
And these are not, and still
Air Canada's too big to fail.
It's crazy. And like I said, and what's kind of really odd about this entire thing is that these are people who have never traded any market. And that's one thing that kind of struck me as so odd. I'm like, why now? And they all just want to jump in and not just put in anything. They want to bet the bank on it.
So tell me, where's all this money going to come from for the market to start going up and up and up? What I'm seeing is people are losing their jobs. Unemployment is really, really high. Even if we restart the markets and all these lockdowns just end, a lot of small businesses have gone out of business, and hence a lot of their employees are going to stay unemployed. And by the time the government actually gives them relief, they're not going to actually have them. They're going to be very cautious about spending that money. Let me ask you guys rather, if you know that money is not coming in as a certainty, are you going to be that eager to spend it? So let's say you decide, okay, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious with my spending. You're not going to go out to other restaurants.
Yeah.
So even the restaurants that do survive are going to take a hit, because people are going to be less eager to spend the money that the government is giving them temporarily, right? Government's not going to keep giving them money. Okay, so I think until that is announced, and that might be the end goal of all of this, the end case. I'll get to that in a bit. Okay, so this is how I think things are going to pan out. We're going to see essentially a supply shock and a demand shock at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We're already seeing that.
Yeah.
But because of that, what's going to happen is prices are going to rise, right? People are going to be very, very hesitant to actually be buying at the same time. Okay, we're going to go into a recession with prices rising. So we're going to see inflation while also going into a recession. Okay, so think about how dangerous that is. We're essentially going into what is known as stagflation. Okay, that can be extremely, extremely brutal. Going to stagflation will force governments then to employ universal basic income. Okay, that's what people are already asking for. So this is where people are literally saying, government, please help me, government, please. And that's completely fine. People, I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing that, but once the government is forced to, and this might have been the end goal from the beginning, but they don't want to rush into it. Once they have to start giving out money to everybody, that's going to cause currency devaluations. Okay, currencies are going to be basically racing towards zero. That's why I think Forex is going to be a market that is going to get very, very interesting. So currencies are going to get devalued. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is going through the halving very soon. So while currencies are basically going through quantitative easing, what is Bitcoin going through? Quantitative hardening, right? And this was really, really well put by someone else. It's not my idea, but I was like, that's actually a good way of putting it. We have currencies all going through quantitative easing, Bitcoin going through quantitative hardening. So long term, extremely bullish on Bitcoin, but at the same time, there's going to be a phase where we are going to see volatility, and the volatility might be towards the downside as people start getting desperate for cash, right? As people start getting desperate for liquidity just to pay for these rising prices in basic necessities. Okay, now we have universal basic income come in. Okay, because the government's like, okay, wow, people are people don't have jobs.
Yeah.
We're going into a recession. We can't have that while prices are increasing. Why are prices increasing, by the way? Because of the supply shock that we
Yeah.
talked about, and also because of the amount of money put into
yes.
into all systems,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a scenario where the government needs to, again, I'm no expert, guys, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I foresee this happening where we're gonna have the government forced to come in and help people by giving money to everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's going to be a lot of helicopter cash just like flying around.
And this money isn't money that is sitting in the government's pockets, guys. They are going to go to the printers and print money. Okay. And what happens when, again, think of you playing Monopoly with your family, and then suddenly the banker just deposits a bunch of new cash into his bank account, right? Everybody's money gets devalued, right? So devaluation of currency while asset prices are going up.
This could potentially have bullish implications
down the road
for Bitcoin, because it is a more deflationary
for
asset.
all markets, in my opinion. All markets. I think everything's going to go up.
Yeah, that's true. You have real estate. Now suddenly everything becomes a better store of value than your fiat money.
What's going to really suck is everyone's jobs will still be paying the same. Alright, you guys, and I've been actually touting this, and I've been complaining about this for freaking 5-6 years. Okay, nobody was listening to me back then. Now my friends are beginning to listen to me. They all shook their heads at me. Sean, how do you quit your $100,000 job? Because $100,000 seems like a lot to you guys. It is not a lot at all when you consider everything that has been happening over the past few decades. Okay, job wages have stayed stagnant. I'm not trying to pat myself on the shoulder. I deserved more. You guys deserve more.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves more. Okay, you guys are not getting it. This is a huge boon for. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but essentially, corporations want that. They want job wages to stay stagnant while inflation goes up. Why? Because it allows them to hire more labor, and they need to keep unemployment. That way they get to keep unemployment down, right? That's the narrative push. Hey, if wages stay down and inflation goes up, we get to afford more labor, unemployment stays down, right? But hey, what about this environment? What about now, where unemployment is going to go down and prices are going to go up? It doesn't fit anymore.
You mean unemployment is going to go up?
Sorry, unemployment is going to go up.
So then so a lot of people right now, they're drawing parallels between what is happening now to what happened in the Great Depression. Now that is the parallel that's being drawn right now with the current situation. Now, stagflation, that could also lead to a depression. Can it?
Yeah.
If the government does not handle this properly in terms of their helicopter money flying around. Now, I know some governments have resorted to that.
That money needs to go to the people, though. Right now, I'm seeing this money go to cruise lines that are based off in Panama. And these, why are cruises getting bailed out?
I don't know.
I mean,
they're not even paying taxes.
They didn't do anything wrong, but these guys aren't incorporated in USA. Yeah. So I think a lot of this bailout money is going to go to the wrong people, and that's what shouldn't happen. But again, I'm no expert, right? I don't know what.
So yeah, it's a really crappy situation. A lot of people have their input on it. A lot of people have a forecast on how things could very well all pan out. The thing is that almost every freaking week there's some new fiscal stimulus that is being kind of introduced, and something, everything is very different now suddenly.
You know what they need to do? They need to forgive all student loans, all freaking student loans in and I'm not saying this because I want that to happen. In fact, no, I want that to happen. What I'm about to say is a bit selfish, but a huge part of me doesn't want that to happen, only because I'm like, I should not have paid my student loan, right? I keep telling my friends that too, who've not paid their student loans yet. I'm like, you guys are going to be so lucky, and I feel so stupid because I paid out my student loan as soon as possible, and I think that is going to end up being a very stupid mistake. I lost all of that. I really think that's that's what's going to happen. We're going to have like a debt jubilee kind of thing,
Yeah.
where all student loans across Canada and USA. I think it's going to happen in USA more than Canada, to be honest.
Yeah, I think their loans are like through the freaking roof. Student debt over there is freaking insane right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this could all. This is just the beginning, okay, of the economic ramifications that this entire thing has brought. Like, I feel like the coronavirus just kind of, you know,
It was the catalyst.
It was the catalyst. It was the catalyst, and like you had mentioned, I think you used a good sort of phrase for it. A lot of people are going to be what? Left naked when the tide runs out.
That was Warren Buffett.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't.
But no, I think. But no, I think that's
when
going to
the
be
tide
true.
goes out, you're
Yeah.
going to see who's swimming naked. That's
There
what he
we
said.
go.
When the tide goes out, you're going to see who's left swimming naked. I think this is the fastest crash we've ever seen, fastest drawdown. People did not have a chance to exit their positions, their over leveraged positions, and yep.
Yeah, so all this to say, you know, if you're someone asking the question, oh, is this the bottom, right? Look at the macro situation as well, all right? Right now, yes, price can tell you a lot, but your macro environment, the environment around you, can also tell you a lot. A lot of our countries are on lockdown right now, so there's not a lot of economic activity going on for that to warrant a push to the upside on many of these companies that are not making any business, right? So take all those things into account and you know, play this safely.
But also take into account that nobody knows what's really going to happen, and that we have tools in place now, like unlimited QE that has never been accounted for before. So don't make a one-to-one comparison to anything. Each market crash has always been unique in its own way in how it gets resolved.
Yeah.
In how it happens, there's so many similarities that it is ridiculous. There's so many similarities. But how it gets resolved, however, it's very unique. So be very careful with trying to be like, this is the bottom. Okay. What we can say is that these kind of bounces, right? If you guys have been following Mango, you guys know that, hey, a 30% bounce or 20% bounce to the daily 21 EMA should not be unexpected. But you'll see every, I don't call them plebs, but retailers get really excited. That's it. Bear market is over. You guys know that that's not how markets roll, right? This kind of bounce is expected, right? The more volatility, the more volatile the bounce will be. Right?
Exactly. So yeah, guys, I mean, you have our input, okay, on Bitcoin right now, and as well as the traditional markets. And is there anything else that you want to say to them? Anything else that you want to cover?
Is there anything else you want to tell them? You are the winning trader over here, out trading all of us.
I mean, I told you about, the trade. Right now, I am still in that short. If we start closing, so far so good, right? If we just, start closing more kind of 4-hour candles over that horizontal right here, just pretty much at around 6,785. I think I'm going to start scaling out, okay? I think that is a major horizontal that I am looking at, that I have plotted on my charts, and that also lines up with a bunch of weekly levels as well. So if we start closing many candles over that region, I will be scaling out of my short. Because like I said, while, that was a rather bearish candle last night, we could, depending, always if this then that, we could have a further push to the upside. So, and yeah, that's all I have for my trade. And do you want to end this one today?
No, I'm good. Go ahead and end it.
Okay, so guys, with that, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way, guys. Ciao.